When Westworld. Let's get it.
Don't be sure, tell them make sure. If not, we gon' make more. Clips say it hold 20, but I think it could take more. Grab a stick, fire on your camp, we gon' make s'mores. I ain't satisfied with my spot, then I'ma take yours. No matter how many roadblocks in my way, I'ma break forward. This path I'm on is so damn narrow, I just stay forward. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, I just ate more. Put them on my plate, I'm never full, give me 8 more. Nigga, I don't sugarcoat shit, bitch, I'm straightforward. Don't give a fuck if they don't let me in, I just break doors. Ballin' so hard, they asking what team that I play for. Scammer who? They ain't stopped making guns when they made yours. Sick with it, feeling like I woke up with stage 4. They ain't want the piece loose, what they opened up the cage for. Endure the pain, been through hard times is what I'm made for. Paid my dues, never left a wage, I just rage roar. So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Still against all enemies. In high school, you was the man that's lost memory shit. Lost energy, never lost my energy. Never lose control, never losing. Dog, I plan to keep you. Lose your mind where I'm from. I ain't talking from what you see. I never lost soul. Losing times, wasting steady pacing. You off track, I'm on that. You pray to God, hoping he can save you. But the power about war, and that's a different angle. This another lost cause, and I'm just adding to the list. They not seeing me for that reason. Got a flash on the grip. Nigga, big priest. They gon' judge me by my increase. And I'ma keep stepping in these joys to the increase. Just got off the phone with Jacob, and he said it's time to shine. Certified, blue dot, put it on you, now you verified. One West world, bigger than World War III. Do not sleep, it's not cheap, and it's still top 3.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
Came on boats and then chains, so when I get rich, I'ma grab a boat and 10 chains with 12 ribs from each tribe. And each rib gonna have at least 3 kids. Yeah, I'ma have a deep squad. Been rapping since knee high. Now a nigga shack size. Spit that holy fire, when you hear it, you get baptized. One West world, yeah, you niggas know the logo. And I'ma bust it down so the haters see the glow glow. Let's have a feast, let's shine on our enemies. Right in their face, let's blind all our enemies. Cause now we half, but we come from half not. Throw that cash on the ground, my nigga, let's cast lots. I started from the bottom, birthed out of mud, raised by gangsters, turned out a thug, I ain't give a fuck. Burnt out I was, from hitting licks, in and out and selling nicks in the drop.
So many chains and gold teeth, it's the blood of a slave. Sit on a throne with a gold crown from the blood of a slave. This is our world, got it from the mud to the grave. Become a thing in the past, don't be a story in my page.
All right, clap it up. Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commanding General Yohana. This is Isupk Austin Tuesday night Brotherhood class. Okay, Brotherhood and Sisterhood. It's a weapon. It's a weapon that we are going to use to get so-called Black Hispanics and Native Indians to come together and rise up out of this hellhole. Okay, how else could we rise without us showing absolute brotherhood and sisterhood? That's exactly what it's going to take. So since we understand that it's going to take brotherhood and sisterhood, ISUPK, under the Commanding General Yohana, make sure that every Tuesday across our nation that we teach brotherhood, that we teach sisterhood, that we teach family to one another. Okay? It is a commandment, all right, to love your brother. It is a commandment to show brotherhood and sisterhood. Okay? This is ISUPK Austin Tuesday night brotherhood class. And today we're going to be talking about the blind side. We're going to be talking about Michael O'Hore, or Michael Orr, however they, Michael Orr, and we're going to show how, that wonderful white family that adopted him, they didn't really adopt him. Now, could you imagine that? Is that all so surprising that we trust our oppressor, okay, to come in and take us to heights that we feel we can't go without? It doesn't blow my mind that they didn't actually adopt the brother. You know, I'm you know I'm not surprised this didn't come out earlier. That all they really did was just rob, just take from us like they always did. They took from their brother Michael Orr. Okay. Yaganan, you have that article I sent you, right?
Let me look. I don't want. I'm looking for it now. Let me see.
Yeah, just looking at text message that I sent you. It'll take you right to the app, right to everything you're gonna need.
Con.
All right, let me.
This Wayne Brady out of one.
Salakia, what?
Wayne Brady.
No, not Wayne Brady. It's about Michael Orr. Michael Orr.
Let me see. I'm looking for it.
Here, I'll just send it again.
Yes, out of one.
Yeah, let me just share it with you real quick. One more time. Yeah, that should just pop right up. Really. You got an iPhone or no?
No.
Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe that's why it's not doing that, because it's on the it was on the news on the.
Okay, out of one.
But it's ESPN. All right, let me share my screen. And we're gonna dive right into it. Let's see what we looking like. All right, you got it.
Con. Retired NFL star Michael O'Hare.
No, it's Michael Orr.
Michael Orr.
Yeah, I don't know why I keep saying O'Hore, but yeah, it's Michael Orr. Do you know like the oar that you paddle with? That's how it's pronounced.
O'Hare.
Orr.
Michael Orr. Con.
Mm-hmm.
Whose supposed adoption out of grinding poverty by a wealthy white family was.
What kind of family?
Wealthy white family.
Yeah, a wealthy white family to come slave this poor black kid. Continue.
Was immortalized in the 2019 movie The Blind Side.
2009.
2009 movie The Blind Side.
Mm-hmm.
Petitioned a Tennessee court Monday with allegations that a central element of the story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at his expense.
Stop there. You see that? It says right there that this whole plan was concocted so they can enrich themselves even further. Okay? They enrich themselves further off of the back of this poor black kid. That's what they did. Okay? This is exactly what this article is going to explain, how this family manipulated and there's another word that I want, but what they did is they influenced this young black man because he went to the school that they wanted to go to. Remember, he wanted to go to Tennessee. He ended up going to Ole Miss because he thought that's where his family played. Ain't that what he said? You never asked me why I want to go to Ole Miss, because that's where my family plays. Because he believes that these people are his family. But as it stands today, he understands that they were no family to him. Continue reading.
The 14-page petition filed in Shelby County, Tennessee. Probate court alleges that Sean and Leah Ann Toohey, who took O'Hare or into their home as a high school student, never adopted him.
You see, they took him in. Hold on. They took him in, but they never really adopted him. But what they did was pull a fast one on this little young brother, and it's going to get into that. Continue going.
Never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after Orr turned 18 in 2004, the petition says the couple tricked him into signing a document.
The couple did what?
Tricked him.
Continue.
Into signing a document making them his conservators, which gave them legal authority to make business deals in his name.
So this is what's going on. So instead of adopting him, they're going to make themselves conservators, and they're going to explain to him that this is the same thing as adoption. They're just using this form because you're 18, and this is how you adopt and make somebody who's already of the legal age into your family, when that's absolutely untrue. They could have still adopted him, and he would have had rights in their family, which meaning he could have represented himself, which meaning he would have been able to control the money that comes off of his name, off of his back, off of his blood, off of his sweat, off of his tears. Okay, continue reading.
The petition further alleges that the Tooheys used their power as conservators to strike a deal that paid them and their two birth children millions of dollars.
What? And pay them and their two what?
Their two birth children millions.
No, their fake adopted son.
Two birth children.
Continue.
Millions of dollars in royalties from an Oscar-winning film that earned more than $300 million. While Orr got nothing.
How much did he get? How much did he get, Officer Yaganan?
Got nothing.
He got absolutely nothing. Even though this story is his story, he grew up in the hell. He grew up in poverty. He grew up in torment. Okay, he grew up with all these plights, and their two birth children got millions. Okay, off of his story, and he got absolutely nothing. This is why you should never trust your enemy. This is why you should only want to be a part of your family, the family that the Most High gave to you. Continue reading, officer.
That would not have existed without him. In the years since the tours have continued, Tooheys have continued calling the 37-year-old or their adopted son, and have used that assertion to promote their foundation, as well as Leanne Toohey's work as an author and motivational speaker.
So they're continuing. They didn't use this brother up because they made the money off of the film. Okay, they said they made money off of the book. They gave their children more generational wealth. Okay, and they continue calling him their adopted son to help promote her foundation, to help promote their family, to help promote her as an author and as a motivational speaker. Okay, continue reading.
The law of Michael's adoption is one upon which co-conservators Leanne Toohey and Sean Toohey have enriched themselves at the expense of their ward. The undersigned Michael Orr, the legal filing says Michael Orr discovered this lie to his chagrin and embarrassment in February of 2023 when he learned that the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Tui family, in fact, provided him no familiar relationship with the Tuis.
All right, stop there. So it says, there was a lie about Michael's adoption. Okay, it is one which the co-conservators Leanne Tui and Sean Tui have enriched themselves at the expense of their ward. Okay, so they are taking this man's likeness, taking everything about him, and they are building, and they are saying you are a part of this family, but really you're only a part of some contract. Okay. And it says the conservatorship to which has consented on the base of doing so would make him a member of the Tui family. In fact, provided him no familiar relationships with the Tui. So he has absolutely no relationship to him. This is a contract that they placed on this young brother. Continue reading.
The Tui family did not immediately return phone calls Monday to numbers listed for them. Their attorney, Steve Forres, declined comment to ESPN on Monday, saying the family would not file a legal response to the allegations in the coming weeks.
Of course they're not. They're not going to respond. Of course they're not answering phone calls. Of course not. Because they know that their actions have caught up to them. Okay? Continue reading.
Sean Tui told the Daily Memphian website that he was stunned by Orr's allegations and said the Tuis didn't make any money off the movie. Only a share of proceeds from Michael Lewis's book, which was the foundation for the film, were devastated. Sean Tui told the outlet, "It's upsetting to think we would make money off any of our children, but we're going to love Michael at 37, just like we loved him at 16.
All right, you can stop there. All right. So Sean Tui told the Daily Memphian website that he was stunned by Orr's allegation and said the Tuis didn't make any money off of the movie, which is an absolute lie. And he's stunned that this brother would even speak up, when he realized that the oppressor is oppressing him. Okay, this is absolute craziness. All right, let me get some scriptures and then we'll get back to the article. But we need to get into the Bible. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 33.
Trying out on come. Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 33. The fruit of thy land and all thy labors shall a nation which thou knowest not eat up, and thou shalt be only oppressed and crushed away always.
And crushed always. You see, it says the fruit of thy land and all thy labors. All the fruits, all the labors that this brother had to put in, all the work, all the time, all the effort, all the blood, sweat, and tears that this brother put in on a football field. Because remember, they wanted him to play football. They got him to that school and did whatever to fix his, whatever grades they needed to, so they can do what? So they can put him on the field, so they could get him to college, so he can get to the pros and make them money. Okay, so they can eat off the fruit of his land, so they can eat off of all his labor. This has a nation which it's not. He didn't know these people. He didn't know them. He just got sucked up in their whirlwind. And it said, "Thou shalt only be oppressed and crushed all way," because he should be sitting on generational wealth. It shouldn't have went to them. It shouldn't have went to the Tuohys. It should have went to Michael Lord. That's what it should have did. Okay. Salakia. Then I just got a thing that says the attorney says a statement that Michael Orr threatened to go public with the story if the family did not pay him $15 million. Maybe they should have paid him that $15 million. Okay. I mean, there ain't no telling how much y'all robbed. Y'all getting a percentage of a $300 million movie. You know how much that is? Okay? They benefited. They ate lusciously. They ate delicious. They lived deliciously off the back of this young brother. Okay? Drop down to 43.
Verse 43. The stranger that is within thee shall get up above thee very high, and thou shalt come down very low.
You see, with all his talents, he made it all the way to the NFL. But the Tuohys, they make themselves get up high, and they made that brother go down very low. Okay? Continue reading.
Verse 44. He shall lend to thee, and thou shalt not lend to him. He shall be the head, and thou shalt be the tail.
You see, and you just following him because he's the head. He's going to lend to you. He lended him a bed, a place to stay. He lended him a better school. Okay? All to steal from him. And his oppressor made himself the head, and Michael Orr was the tail. Okay? Let's drop down to 48.
First book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
You see? Therefore, thou shalt serve thy enemies, who the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness. Y'all remember in the movie, what did they do? They gave him food, right? They gave him raiment by buying his clothes, covering his body, letting him pick out his clothes. Okay. It says in thirst, they gave him something to drink. They gave him a home. All right. But this home, it comes with an iron yoke around your neck, a spiritual. That iron yoke is now spiritual. And for Michael Orr, it was very spiritual because he believed that he wasn't serving his enemy in hunger and nakedness and in thirst. But that's exactly what he was doing. And in one of all things, all he just wanted was a bed. He never had a bed before. He just wanted a bed. Okay? And it says, until it has destroyed thee. This man should be way richer than he is, way better off than he is. But he had an oppressor over him. That's a fierce nation that don't show no regard to the young or old. They didn't care that he was a young man. They were going to use this young man for his gain. Verse 50.
Another one come. Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
You see, they wasn't showing him favor. See, when we were watching the movie, we thought this family loved and cared for him and was showing him favor. But they actually weren't. They weren't showing no favor to the young or no. This is a fierce countenance to trick a young man who you believe isn't smart anyway, to absolutely trick him into signing a document that gives you the legal authority to benefit off of his name while he absolutely gets nothing. This is the problem with wanting to connect with our enemies, wanting to love our oppressors, having any faith or any belief in them. We should never have no faith or no belief in them, because these are the things that they do. And he thought it was their family. Give me Romans 9:3. We're going to show you who your family is. Okay? We're going to show you absolutely who your family is right here.
Book of Romans, chapter 9 and verse 3. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen.
You see that? Hold on, stop there. Hold on. It says, for I wish myself were accursed from Christ for my brethren, my kinsmen. Your brethren is your brother. Your kinsman is your kinfolk, okay? According to what? Continue, Yaganan.
According to the flesh.
According to the spirit.
According to the flesh.
According to my feelings.
According to the flesh.
According to God loves everybody.
According to the flesh.
It's telling you who your family is. Your family is according to the flesh. Now let's see who is of the flesh of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Continue reading.
Verse 4. Who are Israelites?
Who are what?
Who are Israelites?
Who are the Tuies?
Israelites.
Who was a wealthy white family?
Israelites.
Who is any damn body who is not an Israelite? Then that's not your brother. That's not your kinsman. That's not your family. Continue reading.
To whom pertaineth the adoption?
Yep, that's who the adoption is. Because people always be like, oh, you could get the adoption, you can get grafted in. Well, it says who are Israelites, to who pertaineth the adoption. Continue.
And the glory.
And the glory. Or the glory of being a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, that is reserved. Okay, continue.
And the covenants.
And the covenants. The covenants was only given to Israel. When you read Jeremiah 31 and 31, and you read Hebrews 8 and 8, it shows you in the Old and the New Testament that the covenant is for Israelites. Continue.
And the giving of the law.
Psalms 147, 19 and 20. It tells who the law was given to, the statutes and the judgments. It was given to, it says, to Jacob, to Israel, to who are Israelites. Continue.
And the service of God.
Mm-hmm.
And the promises.
And see, that's why we should never be a part of their covenants. We should never be a part of their law. We should never be a part of their services. We should never be a part of their promise, because they promised Michael Orr that he was a Tui, that he was adopted into the Tui family. But now that he's a 37-year-old man, and in February of 2023, he found out that was just not the case. He found out that's absolutely not the case, that this is not his family, and that they used him. They used and abused him to get the pleasures of life, to live fat and eat deliciously. Okay? And that's what we got to get out of thinking that these other nations have any care for us. Okay? Because these other nations, they have absolutely no care for you, no regard for you. Okay? Let's get back to the article. Stop sharing that. Let me share my screen, get back to this article. All right, and we picking up under this. Look at this. We're picking up under him and Sandra Bullock. You got it.
Other petitions asked the court to
Or
petitions asked the court to end the Tuohy's conservatorship and to issue an injunction barring them from using his name and likeness. It also seeks a full accounting of the money the Tuohy's earned from Orr's name and to have the couple pay him his fair share of profits, as well as unspecified compensatory and punitive damages.
all right. So it says Orr's petition. It asked the court to end Tuohy's conservatorship and issue an injunction barring them from using his name and likeness, because they've been using his name and likeness for what? They've been using his name and likeness to build their family, to gain riches for their family. All right, off of this brother's back. All right, that's why he wants them barred from using his name and likeness, because off of his name and his likeness, they have received millions. And out of all the millions that they receive, he has received absolutely nothing. Okay? Absolutely nothing off of his name and likeness when it comes to them and that conservatorship. That's why he wants to cancel that. And for the fact that they took this young brother and they convinced him Salaki, that a conservative, the conservatorship will make them, as they told him, is just like us adopting you. And they used the age to try to they used the age to confuse and confound this young brother. Okay? He didn't understand the verbiage, he didn't understand the language of that. He put his trust in them. All right? And now that he knows what happened to him, he wants them to stop using his name and to stop using his likeness. Continue reading, officer.
Since at least August of 2004, conservators have allowed Michael specifically and the public generally to believe the conservators adopted Michael and have used that untruth to gain financial advantages for themselves and the foundations.
Stop right there. That's what they did, because they lied. All right? They made it believe that they adopted him. All right? And they used that untruth to gain the financial advantages for themselves and their foundations, for everything that is under them. Okay, everything that's beneficial to them. Continue.
which they own or which they exercise control. The petition says all monies made in said manner should in all conscience and equity be discouraged and paid over to the said ward, Michael Orr.
And that would be what? If that was to happen and the equity was disgorged and played over to the said award, what would that be? UPK. What would we call that? If they had to pay him the money he's deserved, what is that? Y'all can type it in too, or what would we call that? If somebody wrongs you and it is made right What is that called? It's one word. Justice. That would be justice for Michael Orr if he's able to get his money from which they have stolen from him with their false narratives, with their lies, with their pretending to adopt him, with their pretending to be family. Continue reading.
Or was a rising high school senior when he signed the conservatorship papers, and he has written that the Tuohys told him that there was essentially no difference between adoption and conservatorship. They explained.
Read that part one more time. This is how they finessed him. Go ahead.
The Tuohys told him that there was essentially no difference between adoption and conservatorship.
They said there's no difference between adoption and conservatorship when there absolutely is. And it's going to explain that. Continue reading.
They explained to me that it means pretty much the exact same thing as adoptive parents, but that the laws were just written in a way that took my age into account. Or wrote in his 2011 best-selling memoir, I Beat the Odds.
All right, stop right there. It says that they explained to him that it was pretty much the same thing as adoptive parents, but the laws were just written in a way that took my age into account. Because that's what they were trying to use because he was older. They said, oh, we're going to make this so we take your age into account. All right? But that's not why they did that. They did that because they knew they were going to be getting a beneficial gain. Continue reading.
But there are some important legal distinctions. If Orr had been adopted by the Tuohys, he would have been a legal member of their family. And he would have retained power to handle his own financial affairs.
All right. So if he would have been legally adopted, okay, he would have been a legal member of the family, and he would have had the rights. He would have retained power to his own handling of his own financial affairs, of his own money, of his own benefit. Okay. This is why they didn't want to legally adopt him and make them a real member of his family. Why the hell would he want to do that? Two nations are in our womb. Two different manner of people. Okay? These are different manner of people. Michael Orr didn't know that. He just thought people was people. Continue reading.
Under the conservatorship, Orr surrendered that authority to the Tuohys, even though he was a legal adult with no known physical or psychological disabilities.
And see, this is why trusting our enemy is the absolute worst thing we could do, because he trusted them. He thought their word was their bond, but it wasn't. That conservatorship was their bond. And he surrendered his authority over to the Tuohys, even though he was a legal adult and he didn't have no physical or psychological disabilities. And they still, that's why they wanted to sign that, so they could take advantage of this young man. Continue reading.
The petition alleges that the Tuohys began negotiating a movie deal about their relationship with Orr shortly after the 2006 release of the book, The Blind Side, Evolution of a Game, which chronicled the story.
Continue reading.
According to the legal filing, the movie paid the Tuohys and their two birth children each $225,000, plus 2.5% of the film's defined net proceeds. The movie began.
Read that again from according to the legal filming, because that's heavy.
According to the legal filing, the movie paid the Tuohys and their two birth children each $225,000, plus 2.5% of the film's defined net proceeds. The movie became a critical acclaimed blockbuster, reportedly grossing more than $300 million at the box office. And
they're over there gaining. So let me see what that is. Let's see what that is. Go ahead, continue reading.
I don't want con. Reportedly grossing more than $300 million at the box office and tens of millions of dollars more in home video sales. The film received an Oscar nomination for Best Picture.
So y'all can understand. So y'all can understand is they got 225,000, right? Plus 2.5 of the film's defined net proceed. So 2.5 million out of 300 million is 7,500,000. They got $7,500,000 out of the likeness of this young black man. Now, this is how you know that your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, and that he is so wicked, okay? And that you should never trust thine enemy. Where we at, Yaganan?
Adawan and Sandra Bullock won a Best Actress trophy.
Is that under? Are we on top of that picture still, or under?
We're on top of it. Adawan.
All right. Oh yeah, I see where we're at. Go ahead and finish that.
The film received an Oscar nomination for the Best Picture, and Sandra Bullock won a Best Actress trophy for her portrayal of Leanne Tuohy. While the deal allowed the Tuohys to profit from the film, the petition alleges a separate 2007 contract purportedly signed by or appears to give away to 20th Century Fox Studios the life rights of his story, Salakia, without any payment whatsoever. The filing says or has no recollection of signing that contract, and even if he did, no one explained the implications to him. Adam, you there? Internet my phone. His internet. Looking at bag, I think it's the top, the 7. The very bottom. Take all this stuff out. Huh? We're in the bathroom. Oh, 2. Call that one.
Alright, pull some scriptures while I'm trying to figure something out. Alright, just pull anything. Go to the test and have the trooper read until I get back in.
Alright, come.
Alright, that's our question.
Trooper, your quad. Trooper. I'm mute. We gotta unmute. You unmute, Trooper. We gotta go over some scriptures. Okay, we'll try to get that unmuted. So I'm gonna go over some scriptures. So, who did Christ die for? Let me know when you unmute yourself. We're gonna go to Book of Matthew 1:21. The Trooper, yeah, Prob. Unmute your mic. Unmute your mic. Yeah, you muted. Okay, Book of Matthew, chapter 1 and verse 21. And he shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. So that scripture is basically about the Israelites, his people. So let's go to the book of Matthew, chapter 10, verse 5 and 7. Coming out of one coming, trooper. Okay. So Matthew 10 and 5 and 7. So Christ was telling, he was talking to the disciples. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them.
Salakia, can you hear me?
Con.
Yaganan, I can't hear you. Yaqua, was you able to hear Yaganan?
Sir, my headphones is dead. I got these connected to my PC though.
But you can hear me. I can't hear Yaganan. Yaganan. Let me call this brother. I don't know what happened. We can't hear you. Can't hear you. Salakia, y'all bear with us 1 second. The oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. You all right, we back rocking and rolling. And the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. So this is the things that happen when you over here trying to speak the truth. Sometimes they don't want you going too hard. The oppressor don't want you going too hard on them. Okay. Let me see. Yep, there we go. Everything coming back. Let me erase that one. Hopefully that wasn't the case. All right, let me bring you back in. Let's see. Say something, Yaganan. Let's shalom, Lord in Christ.
Shalom, Lord in Christ.
It's Tawab right there. All right. Hey, y'all in the chat. Y'all can hear something now? All good. Most High in Christ. So they said they could hear in the chat. And anybody in the chat or anybody in the room, if any questions, y'all know, just let me know, and Lord willing, we'll go ahead and get to them. But yeah, the oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of, okay? And this is the things that happen when you come to be speaking the truth. All right? I'm gonna finish this out from where I thought. It says Sandra Bullock won Best Actress trophy for her portrayal as Leanne Tooley. With the deal that allowed the Tuohys to profit from the field the petition alleges, and a separate 2007 contract purportedly signed by Orr appears to give away the 20th Century Fox Studios life rights of his stories without any payment whatsoever. The filming says Orr had no recollection of signing that contract, and even if he did, no one explained its implications to him. Like, okay, he's not a lawyer. You want him to look over some contract and just expect to know the verbiage, expect to know the lingo, expect to know the linguistics on it? That is absolutely not how things work. Okay, there's a bunch of smart people who can read a contract right now and won't understand it, man. That's why you need lawyers. You need professionals for that. Okay, just like nobody could just read this Bible and just understand what the hell it's saying or what it means. All right, it takes professionals like the priests and prophets here in the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. That is the professionals. Okay, and look at them hugged up right here. Look at them hugged up. Mike, this is Michael Orr and Luann and Leanne Tui. Why do you think he's hugging her like that, so happy and crying? Because who does he believe that she is? Go ahead, Yaganan.
His mom out of family.
His mother. He believes this is his mother. He believed that this is who gave him a mother's love. When his real mother, who had 11 other kids and was addicted to drugs, couldn't give him. So he is happy for him and his mom right here in this picture. But, Trooper Yaquab, give me Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. See if I can get it on here. I don't really know if we can. Maybe if I type it.
I got it, sir.
Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10.
Con.
Hold on, let me try to get there real quick.
Con.
Oh, I can do it just like this. All right, a deal of Most High in Christ. You just gotta search it. Okay. 12 and 10. Share the screen. Stop sharing that one. Present, share. All right, Warrior, you got it.
All right. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10.
Mm-hmm.
The preacher sought to find out.
No. Ecclesiasticus in the Apocrypha.
Oh, Salaki, sir.
Yeah, not Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiasticus.
Yes. 12 and 10.
12 and 10. Bedrock UP's scripture right here.
Salaki. This is the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy.
Sometimes trust thy enemy.
Never trust thine enemy.
Occasionally trust thy enemy.
Never trust thine enemy.
When they're taking you into their home to give you clothes and food and make you sign a contract to deceive you.
Never trust thine enemy.
Uh-huh.
For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness.
It says, never trust thine enemy. For like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness. You ever see a piece of metal? You ever see an old car, one of those old junkers? And they got that little speck of rust on the bumper, right? And then you just, or a piece in the car, it will rust out the whole thing until it is completely covered as rust. That's how your enemy's wickedness is. You see, he trusted his enemy, and he was shown how like iron rusted, so is their wickedness, because they got 225,000, right? For each one of them, for them and their two kids, each one of them got that. And then off of the movie, they got 2.5%. And I know you're thinking 2.5%. Well, really, that's not a lot of money. But it is a lot of money because off of the 300 million that the movie grossed, they got $7,500,000. That's a lot. I mean, I know what we could do with that. Okay, so it says, "Never trust thy enemy." Continue reading.
Chapter, it was like verse 11. It's like though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of himself.
Stop right there. It says, "Though he humble himself." Oh, they came humble and smiling and buying them Taco Bell and gave them a place to stay and buying them clothes, and we're your parents. We're gonna adopt you. Oh, they come humble. They go crouching. They come real low and real slick and real humble, talking real smooth, right? They're gonna humble themselves. But you better watch that. It says, "Yet take good heed and beware of him." Why he's being so nice and making sure your belly's full, making sure you comfortable while you sleep. Oh, making sure you going to the good school, getting you all the good football pads. He had Nike everything. You get the cool armbands. You know, everybody can't afford the armbands and the leg bands and the headbands. Oh, he's getting all of that. Why? Because they just love him so much. Okay. No, that's not why. That's why it says you better beware of him. Well, you better take good heed. Continue.
And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped a looking glass. And thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away.
You see, that rust isn't wiped away. It's there, and it's putting holes through all that good metal, putting holes through all that good iron, rusting and trying to make it nothing. Continue reading.
Set him not by thee.
Let him know where you're at.
I was like verse 12. Set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place.
No, stop right there. Huh? This is important. It says, "Set him not by thee." You know, you might have a position where you could just set him right here. It's okay. He's just right here. It's going to be safe. It is not. Okay. It says, "Set him not by thee," because at least when he overthrow thee, he stand up in thy place. How do you think we are in the condition we're in now? Because they were set by us. Okay. And they overthrew us, and now they're in our place. Precept. That's where the Bible says, "I have seen the the princes." I'm paraphrasing, the princes walking, and the and them who are lesser on horses. We see that today. They are in rulership when they absolutely shouldn't be. Okay? That's because we keep sitting them right by us, and they keep rising and overthrowing. Continue reading.
It's like neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat.
You see, and that's why you don't set him by your right hand. He's going to seek to take your seat. He's going to seek to take your spot. How do we know? Because he takes everything from you. That's why he was the last samurai. He was the Mexican. He was the last of the Mohicans. He was Carlito's Way. Okay? All these things he becomes and he portrays because he seeks to take your seat. Continue reading.
And thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith.
You see, continue reading.
Verse 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such as come not wild beasts.
Who will pity a charmer that is bidding with a serpent? What does a charmer do? What's a charmer do with a serpent? Who knows that? Go ahead, Yaganan.
A charmer charms a serpent, puts it like in a trance.
Right. That's exactly what they do. That's why they play that. They playing the damn flute on them and all these, playing the recorder, whatever the hell they play. And that's what they doing, charming them. But if that charmer was to be bitten by that serpent, what would we say? Well, you out there playing with nature. You out there playing with this cobra. Do you know what a cobra can do to you if that venom gets into you? You will be unalive, Doc. So what is you out here thinking that you are East Indian and you thinking this is Aladdin? You thinking this is Mowgli, okay? And you about to play this flute on damn, I don't remember the dude's name. I mean the snake's name. I want to say Shere Khan, but that was a tiger. But you over here trying to charm these beasts. We can't charm the beasts. That means we're playing with them. You know how we charm them? We try to go finesse them with our words. We try to go slick talk them. Okay? But you know what they do in the end? They pretend that they're charmed and that they're in a trance, and then they bite you. And when they bite you, everything is destructive in that bite. Your oppressor's bite is vicious. It is deadly, and it is not to be played with or taken light. That's why you don't sit them by you, because they will seek your seat. That's why you don't charm a serpent, because it will bite you. Okay? Drop down to 16.
Khan. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 16. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
He does what?
But an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips.
An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. All right? He's going to tell you sweet words. He's going to tell you things that you want to hear. He's going to tell you things that arouse you. Continue reading.
Khan. But in his heart he imagined. It's like he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit.
But in his heart, as he's over there, just like at your slave, while he's over there speaking sweet with his lips to you, he's thinking of a way to keep you in hell, to throw you into hell. That's what the pit is. The pit in the Bible is hell. Okay? Continue.
Khan. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood.
And he's not going to be satisfied. And he will weep. You know how many times I have an oppressor at my job come up and they be like, oh, man, that's messed up for you. Or I can't believe you have this much to do today. And then they'll go behind your back and try to draw blood. Oh, look how long it's taking. I can't believe how long it's taking him. Well, I just seen you down there talking to him. Is that what y'all were talking about? Or were you over there sympathizing with him? Just to come over here and to step on his neck, to find a way to throw him in that pit, into that hell. So he will weep. Well, he'll weep right there with you. But when he finds an opportunity, he will not be satisfied in blood. Give me Psalms 55 and 21, because that's a precept to this.
Khan.
And make sure y'all recording these precepts. It's important, man. You won't believe the things the Most High will show you by recording these precepts. That's all I did was just record the precepts under Captain Yatazak, under Officer One Yala, under the generals, under captains in the school. Just record precepts. Just put them in the lesson, add them to the lesson. Before you know, you have breakdowns. Okay, this is important. So, because the Bible says we need to read precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That's how we gain understanding. Okay, and that's important for you to understand the Bible. This isn't Christianity where we just tell you something and you just go floating off and you have to wonder. Absolutely is not what this is about. What this is about is you knowing who you are and knowing what to do because your life is at stake. You knowing this, what Ecclesiasticus 12 and 16 just said. You know, he talked with these sweet lips. This is important to know. So when they're talking to you, and you start to feel that, especially with Christianity, and when you believe that when you believe that Christ is blonde hair and blue eyed and pale skin, when you believe that, and then your oppressor starts talking to you with these smooth words, with these sweet words, then you will be in a trance. You will be finessed, and it feels good because you'll be like, man, the Lord's showing favor on me because look how he's dealing with me. But really, you got to understand it's just talk. Go ahead and read that, Trooper Yaquab.
Khan. It's the book of Psalms, chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The what?
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. And this ain't talking about that stick. Okay? And it's talking about that easy spread, Yaganan. This ain't talking about that stick of butter. It's talking about that easy spread. His words are so smooth. They just butter your bread. Okay? You just be so buttered up and you be like, oh, Mr. Jacobs is so nice. Oh, he's just such a nice man, and I just love conversing with him. He hates you. Continue reading.
Khan. But war was in his heart.
The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war is in his heart. You think your enemy doesn't think about war? You think your enemy doesn't think about how to keep you under him? You think your enemy doesn't want to have you sign conservationships so he can use the likeness off of your talents, off of your greatness, off of everything that you are? The words of his mouth were smoother than butter. But war is in his heart. Because he knows that he doesn't want you over on top of him. He knows that he doesn't want to listen to your words being as smooth as butter, but war in your heart. So he prefers to have his words smooth with war in his heart. Continue reading, Trooper.
Khan. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords.
You see, oil feels good on your skin, right? It feels good on your body. But a sword doesn't. His words are softer than oil, but they draw swords. A sword is made for cutting, for unaliving. All right? That's what it's made for. Give me Proverbs 3 and 31.
Khan.
You come in. No, I was talking off to the side, Yagana. That's why you could. Yeah. I had to mute. Go ahead and read that, Trooper. Proverbs 3 and 31. You got it, warrior.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Envy not thou oppressor, and choose none of his ways. That's what we have to do. That's what Michael Orr needed to do. Was envy not that oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Because his ways are grievous. His ways, they lead us into a pit. Because war is in his heart. even though those words are smooth as butter. And we hear them every day. And it's hard to distinguish. It's hard because it sounds genuine. When they talk, when they come to you and they're talking and they saying these things, it absolutely sounds genuine. And you're like, damn, man, I really like him. But they don't like you. And that's the problem. All right. And the Lord doesn't like them. How do we know that? For Jacob have I loved, and Esau have I hated. Okay. Let's get back to the article. Yaganan. Get back to the article. We're gonna try to finish it out. Seems like we're doing good with time. Go ahead, right under the picture. You got it. Right under the picture of him hugging that devil. The deal lists all 4 Tuohys.
The deal lists all 4 Tuohys, family members, as having the same representative and created artist agency. The petition says, for all agent who would receive movie contract and payment notices is listed as Deborah Brennan, a close family friend of Tuohy's and the same lawyer who filed the 2004 conservatorship petition. The petition alleges Brennan did not return a call to her law office on Monday.
All right, it says that this Deborah Brennan, this is a close friend of the family of the Tuohys, and the same lawyer who filed the 2004 conservatorship petition. Okay, so this is their family lawyer. Well, if Michael Orr is a part of your family, why wasn't this family lawyer looking into his best interests as well? Continue reading.
Come on. In the past, the Tuohys have denied making much money from the movie, saying they received a flat fee for the story and did not reap any of the movie's profits. And what they did earn, they added, was shared with all.
All right, so they saying they just made a flat fee. They didn't make the 2.5 off the 300 million, and everything they had, they shared with Orr. But Michael Orr didn't get anything from any of that. Continue reading.
We divided it 5 ways, the Tuohys wrote in the 2010 book, in a heartbeat, sharing the power of cheerful giving.
Yeah, the only one who was given cheerfully without knowing it was Michael Orr. That's who was given his money, given the money, them getting money off of his blood, his sweat, his tears. You know how hard it is to go to the damn NFL? You know how hard you got to work? You know how absolutely good you got to be? Do y'all see that picture right there? Which one of those bastards was good at anything? I think one of them played tennis. But you don't want to go play tennis, so you got to line up against Serena Venus, right? They ain't a damn thing. Look at them. That's the little boy, the little goofy boy from the movie. The little can't really say it. The daughter from the movie. The mom. And this bastard here. This is a family full of devils that robbed a young black man. And now they're trying to take his soul. Because they're trying to say, we're going to love him at 37 like we loved him at 16. You didn't love him at 16, at 17, at 18, at 19, at 20, all the way to 37. How do we know that? Because you made money off his image and likeness and offer him nothing. Continue reading.
Come.
Orr's court petition says he never received any money from the movie.
Or his court petition saying he never received any money from the movie, even though he long suspected that others were profiting, according to his attorney, J. Gerard Strange. Was that the fifth?
The fourth, I believe.
Fourth?
I believe. I'm not, Salakia, I'm not really that sure with Roman numerals.
Yeah.
I just know if it's before, it's the 4. If it was after, I believe it'd be the 6. And fifth should just be the V. But continue.
Whenever Orr asked questions, he did not get straight answers. His attorney said.
You see, and then his attorney, is saying he never got no straight answers. And he believed that others were profiting from this movie. He just didn't believe that his family. Y'all understand that he believed that these 4 individuals right here was his family. You seen the movie Trooper Yaquab? You seen the movie as well, Yaganan?
Oh my God.
He believed that this was his family. He absolutely loved these people. He adored these people because they gave him what he felt like his biological mother could. He felt like he finally had a family. That's one thing he's never had, especially from being through foster care from 11 years old. But what he's realizing now is this was never his family, that this is his enemy, and that his oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Continue reading.
And since the film's success coincided with the start of his lucrative NFL career in 2009, Orr did not take the time to fully investigate the deal until he retired in 2016. Strange said Orr eventually hired a lawyer who helped him uncover the deals surrounding the movie deal and his legal connection to the people he believed were his adopted parents.
Mm-hmm.
His lawyer unearthed the conservatorship document in February, and Orr came to the painful realization that the Tuohys had not adopted him.
And see, that was painful for him because he believed that this was his family. He believed they adopted him because they loved him, when they didn't adopt him at all. They just had him sign a conservatorship so they could use his name and likeness where he can't. Continue reading.
And Mike didn't grow up with a stable family life. Strand said, when the Tuohys family told Mike they loved him and wanted to adopt him, it filled a void that had been with him his entire life. Discovering that he wasn't actually adopted devastated Mike and wounded him deeply.
Do you see how deep that is? Now do y'all understand that? Read that part one more time.
Discovering that he wasn't actually adopted devastated Mike and wounded him deeply.
That's because the words are smoother than butter. And no, read that Mike didn't grow up with a stable family. And the Tuohy, read when the Tuohy family told. What they tell him? Mike didn't grow up with a stable family life, Strand said. It's that same paragraph. It's just the top of that same paragraph.
Mike didn't grow up with a stable family, Strand said. when the Tui family told Mike they loved him and wanted to adopt him.
His words are smoother than butter. When it says that they told him that they loved him, nobody ever told him that. He ain't never been told he was loved. And that they want to adopt him, that was their words being smoother than butter. Okay? That is hypnotizing to a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian who's never had absolutely anything but destruction and torment and chaos in their life. This right here is his words are smoother than butter. Trooper, let me get a scripture. Let me get Colossians 2:8.
Come on.
When you got it, you can read it, warrior.
Come on. It's the book of Colossians.
Salakia. Let me make sure I got it up on the screen. All right, Most High in Christ, you got it, warrior.
It's the book of Colossians, chapter 2, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit, after the tradition of man, after the rudiments of the world, and not after Christ.
You see, it said, beware lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. That's what they did when they said, oh, we love you. We want to adopt you, Mike. We want to make you a part of this family. You're Big Mike. We love you. You see, we gave you a bed. We gave you a room. We gave you a Ford F-150. Okay? We gave you all this. They're spoiling him through vain deceit. They're saying that they love him. Man, he went after the traditions of men. He went after their sport, what they wanted him to do, after the rudiments of their world, and not after Christ. Okay? So we got to understand that. Because what we got to understand is they're different than us. We're not the same. Give me Genesis 25 and 21. We're absolutely, unequivocally not the same people. Go ahead and read that when you got it.
Okay. This is the book of Genesis. Salakia, sir.
You got a warrior, Salakia.
This is the book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 21. And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him. And Rebekah, his wife, conceived.
All right, so Rebekah was barren. Remember, Leah was dropping babies like crazy. Okay? Rebekah wasn't. Remember, only two that come from Rebekah is Joseph and Benjamin. Okay, we got 12 tribes. Okay, and then of course some come from Leah, and some come from Leah's servant, and some come from Rebekah's servant. So really, 4 women make up the 12 tribes of Israel. But still, Rebekah was not conceiving, okay? And Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, and the Lord entreated him, and Rebekah conceived. Continue.
Come on. Verse 22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus?
You see? Hold on. So it says, and the children struggled within her, and she said, if this is of the Lord, why am I thus? Why are they struggling in me? Why am I going through these? Continue.
Come. And she went to inquire of the Lord,
Continue.
Verse 23. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations are in thy womb.
The Lord said,
And
what?
Two nations are in thy womb.
No, everybody's all the same.
2 nations are in thy womb.
So we all bleed red.
2 nations are in thy womb.
Continue.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated by thy bowels from
So
thy
the
bowels.
Lord is telling you, even though they're brothers, these brothers are not the same. There are 2 nations in your womb, 2 manner of people, and they shall be separated from thy bowels. Continue.
Come on. And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
Mm-hmm.
And the elder shall serve and the elder shall serve the younger.
And the elder will serve the younger.
And the elder
that will
shall
happen.
serve the younger.
And that will happen. But it says one people shall be stronger than the other. We know that we are way stronger than them. Okay. They just have us because we don't want to follow the laws, statutes, and commandments. Drop down to 25.
Come on. Book of Genesis, chapter 25, verse 25. And the first came out red all over like an hairy garment. And they call his name Esau.
It says, and the first one came out red all over like a hairy garment. Red, it doesn't mean he was just the color red. It means you could see his blood through his skin. You could see the hue. Okay. All right. And he was like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. I mean, I know a lot of people don't believe in Bigfoot, but you take a razor away from Yugoslavia for 6 months. Take a razor away from Russia for 6 months. You're going to see a bunch of 6, 7 hairy bastards. You know how hairy they be? Has anybody heard of 5 o'clock shadow? That's because when your oppressor shaves, by 5 o'clock, it's coming back. If he shaves in the morning, by the evening, it will return. Continue reading.
Come. Verse 26. And after that, his brother came out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel.
Drop to 27. Salakia, drop to 27.
Come. And the boys grew, verse 27. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field.
It said, and the boys grew. Hold on. And the boys grew. And Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. Okay? How do we know that now? How do we know who Esau is? It says, and the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter. Don't Lamentations talk about how they hunt your steps? Right? Don't Esau wake up at 3 a.m, go in the woods, rub deer piss all over his body, sit in a tree for 10 hours just to kill Bambi? It's a sport to him. It's fun. Just like he hunts you. Just like he hunts everything. It is fun for him. Because he is a cunning hunter. Oh, he is ill with hunting. He is going to get that prey. He's going to come home with a deer. It's going to happen. Continue reading.
Come on. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents. And Isaac.
That was it. Jacob was in the house. Okay? Jacob was in the house, chilling. That's what we be. We up in the tents. We up in the house chilling. I'm not waking up 3 in the morning. I'm not gonna go put some damn chair in some tree, sit there with my shotgun or my bow, with all this animal piss on me stinking, just to shoot something for fun, just so I can hang a head on my wall. You need to understand that that's how your enemy looks at you. Anytime they get a gain on you, somebody gets you fired from the job, they hang that head on their wall. Every time the oppressor oppresses you and brings you down lower and kills your spirit, he hangs your head on the wall. No, you can't have this job. Head on the wall. No, you can't have this unemployment. Another head on the wall. Oh, I got over him in a traffic accident. Head on the wall. Okay? That's all they doing is putting your head on the wall like they do with every animal. That's why they hunt everything. Continue reading.
Come on. Salaki.
25 and 28. Genesis 25 and 28.
Come on. And Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his best venison.
Uh-huh.
Rebecca loved Jacob.
You see, but Rebecca, she loved Jacob. She understood. Okay. Isaac loved Esau because he was out there hunting and cooking everything. And I know some brothers like that red pottage. They like it rare. They like it medium. They like it. I like my meat like leather. I don't give a damn. I want to know that it's cooked. Okay. Period. All right. Let's get back to the article. Let me stop sharing that. Get back to presenting. Share this article. Let's try to get through this. Let me see. I thought there was a lot. All right. That's some niggas talking. Okay. All right. All right, go ahead and continue, Yaganan. You keep this picture of these devils up. Go ahead and start from right under those devils. Yaganan, you muted. Salakia.
Khan, the petition marks a sharp break in what had been an inspiring, if unsettlingly stereotypical feel-good story. As the movie portrayed the story, the Tuohys adopted Or, a poor, virtually homeless? Virtually homeless and academically challenged black teenager.
All right, so it said the movie portrayed the story that the Tuohys adopted Or, a poor, virtually homeless, and academically challenged black teenager. Oh, they made him so low in that movie, even though he's the reason that they got all this damn financial gain. Your oppressor is the devil that the Bible speaks of. Continue reading.
They made Or part of a fictional family for the first time. Functional family for the first time. They helped him catch up in school, taught him the basics of football, and how to harness his physical skills, putting him on the road to sports stardom.
You see, they was just being good Christians and helping a nigga out. Continue.
The truth, however, was more complicated. Or certainly led a hard knock life growing up, but he also had the smarts, the pluck, and plenty of help from the Tuohys and others to raise above his circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
Or was one of 12 children born to his mother, who struggled with drug addiction. Before his 11th birthday, Or was placed into a foster care, where he bounced around numerous homes and at times lived on the streets. Although he was a capable student, He attended 11 schools in 9 years and repeated both the first and second grades, leaving him behind academically. His fortunes changed after a friend's father, impressed with Orr's inner drive and focus, introduced him to the principal of a private Christian school in a prosperous Memphis neighborhood. Orr began attending the school in the 10th grade, even as his home life remained chaotic. He was a sports prodigy, excelling in track and field, basketball, and football, a game he had studied for years. He began playing football for his new school in 11th grade, quickly establishing himself as one of the nation's top offensive linemen. And college scholarship offers poured in from big-time football programs across the country. Because he was unstable housing situation or frequently stayed over at the homes of his classmates, including the Tories whose children attended the school. The petition says that the Tories forged a closer relationship with him after Orr's athletic
prowess
drew wide attention. They invited him to spend more nights at their spacious Memphis home and took him shopping. Eventually, they asked Orr to move in. They encouraged him to address them as mom and dad and said they planned to adopt him and their filing says. Orr was delighted with all that at the time, his lawyer said, and he fully trusted the Tories. Orr went on to play college football at the University of Mississippi. The Tories' alma mater. He was a two-time All-American and first-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens in 2009.
You see, they just was deceiving this young man. And hold on, I'm going to pick it up. After the success of The Blind Side, however, suspicion solely eclipsed Orr's trust in the Tuohys, his lawyer said. You see, after that movie, his suspicion slowly eclipsed. Okay, he started realizing maybe these people ain't who I think they are. It says Mike's relationship with the Tuohy family started to decline when he discovered that he was portrayed in the movie as intelligent. They always want to make us stupid. They always want to make us low. They always want to make us what is that word that I'm looking for? Remedial. They always want to make us remedial. Okay? It says the relationship continued to deteriorate as he learned that he was the only member of the family not receiving royalty checks from the movie. And when it was permanently fractured, when he realized when he wasn't adopted in a part of the family. That's why he's not receiving royalty checks, because you're not a part of the family, Ak. These are your enemies. Never trust thine enemies. It said for years, O'Hore has chafed in how The Blind Side depicted him, saying it hurt his football career and clouded how people viewed him. You see that movie hurt him because it made him seem like some just big dummy. You know, he's just big and dumb when really he wasn't. He has said that based on the film, some NFL decision makers assumed he was mentally slow or lacked leadership skills. And the character in the movie, he did seem slow. The way he talked, all of that. But he couldn't be slow doing what he was doing. Says people look at me and they take things away from me because of the movie, Orr told him in ESPN 2015. They don't really see the skill in the kind of player I am. And I can see that through his career. As like I watched his career, I kind of seen that. Like and even from the movie, I took the portrayal of them seriously. All right. For their part, the Tuohys agreed that Orr always had what it took to succeed. If there was a fundamental misappreciation about Michael, it is he needing saving, the Tuohys wrote in their book. We discovered that underneath his shyness, his foot shuffling, and his head ducking, he had a tremendous will and determined the course of his own life. For years, Orr has said he was content to live with the myth created by the movie, reasoning that it was inspirational message that outweighed the pain inflicted by what he saw was an accurate portrayal of his life. But that has changed. There has been so much created from the blind side that I am grateful for, which is why you might find the shock that the experience surrounding the story also been a large source of some of my deepest hurt and pain over the past 14 years. Or wrote in his book, When Your Back's Against the Wall, released last week. Beyond the details of the deal, the politics, the money behind the book and movie, it was a principle of the choices that some people made that cut me the deepest. And I'm glad this brother's getting to come out and say what he has to say. Okay. Because what happened to him is what happens to a lot of us. And it's just absolutely having the advantage taken of you. All right, I want to get two more scriptures. No, just give me one more. Somebody give me 2 Maccabees 4:14. Whoever got it can read it quickly so we can get up out of here.
Book of 2 Maccabees, chapter 4 and 14 or 17?
Con.
I don't know. 14?
Con.
That the priest had no courage to serve any more at the altar, but despising the temple and neglecting the sacrifices, hastened to be partakers of the unlawful allowance in the place of exercise. After the game of discus called them forth.
You see, that's what we do. We don't want to serve at the altar no more. We just want to take up that place of exercise and of those games like discus, like basketball, like football, like track and field, like soccer, like tennis, like golf. Okay. Any questions in the room or online?
No, I don't.
Well, with that, we are the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commanding General Yohana. Let's get the security announcements.
ISUPK security announcements. Well, the ISUPK started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to shed themselves of the world. If they need transportation, a teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. This is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will call each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. Book of Numbers, chapter 18, and verse 21. Book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. Means tenth in the Hebrew, Mashara. 10% of any penny of any increase the Lord gives you, give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund, free will, offering for priests, not mandatory, whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations are the one.
Upcoming holy convocations. It's going to be the memorial of blowing of the trumpets. Friday, the 15th of September, 2023. Okay? Finish it out, y'all now.
If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black. Boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf. That's it for the announcements.
We're going to Imagium, which means to stand. All right. And we're going to get the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. We're going to Sar. We're going to face the east. I don't know why my camera got me facing that way, but whatever. All right. Abanawa. Shabbat Shemayim. Kadash. Haya. Shamka. Yahweh. Malakwaka. Tabaya. Ratazayaka. Haya. Asha. Barataza. Kawa. Haya. Bashamayim. Natan Larawa. Lakal. Call. Yawam. Wasalakia Nawa. Kabawatia Nawa. Kasalakia Nawa. Kabawatia Nawa. Wala'a. Tabanawa. Banasawan. Abba. Yahweh Shanawa. Slakia. Yahweh Shanawa. Mayan. Ra. Kaya. Laka. Hamalakwa. Wahala. Wahata Parath. Lawalayim. Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven. Hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done. In earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. And forgive our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation. But deliver us from evil. For thine, it's like it. But deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. All right. You got your Matah. All right. We're going to Sar in turn. I'm going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher. Men of Israel, Majim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak. Yahabah Shem Yahshabrakatam. All right. We're going to Yajamata. We're going to Sar, face the sisters. Sisters rise. We're going to give a courtesy salute to the sisters, men of Israel. Majim Shabbat. Amajim. Barak.
Yahweh Shema Elatah Shem Yahweh Shah.
Yajamata. Class dismissed. Clap it up. That's right. All right, let everybody get up out of here.